Welcome, heroes, to Zen Thought. Today we're going to be discussing the 2017 to 2018. I'm here joined by Zaramaru and OneUnderK. Let's go ahead and see what they're doing.
You were my replay. Hi. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, Zaramaru and OneUnderK. How you guys doing?
I'm
doing fine.
I'm doing.
So, one thing I'll mention is I added a chat thing on the bottom left-hand corner there. If you guys say hi, you should pop up there, because I figure everybody should be a part of the conversation, because that is what we do here. Zen Thought is a podcast where we talk about general entertainment industry, I guess. How would you categorize that? Just
general stuff, industry bullshit.
Yeah, all what we think is going wrong. Hey, Zara, you said hey.
It's funny to think that it's called Zen Thoughts, and Zen usually means calm things, and we're going to spend a lot of this time being like, man, everything fucking sucks.
So it's more about getting it out there and getting your thoughts out there so you can reach a point of Zen.
Yeah, just like to talk about it, level out everything.
Just bring it to Zen.
Yeah, because originally I started this because there's like stuff I wanted to discuss, and this is the best way to do it. So we're going to be going over 2017 and all the stuff that's happened there, if there's any good and most of the bad. And we're going to reflect on that to predict what will go on in 2018. So, of course, we usually go around the room. Everybody introduce yourself. Zara, you want to start?
Sure. Hello. My name is Zarmar, and I'm a YouTuber / streamer, and I do very little of it. That's me.
Cool. And I'm OneUnderK. I've uploaded precisely one custom robo video, lost all the footage, and I'm trying to get my life back on track with that shit. So I don't want to say I'm a YouTuber, but I'm trying. Okay.
I mean, you don't have to be a YouTuber. There's other things that you could be doing.
Yeah,
like
be
life.
a hobo.
Yeah, be a hobo.
Aspiring game designer and aspiring voice actor. Those are the things I am.
I am an aspiring hobo.
Hell yeah, dude.
Alright, I'm Zeshin of HeroesNFools, host of this and all this other stuff. I don't know. I do random garbage.
Who are you again?
I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't
Why are
know.
you on our podcast?
What? I'm in the wrong podcast, sir. I need to leave.
I gotta
Bye.
go. I don't
Where's my
think
paycheck?
Where's my paycheck? Would you like your 2 cents now or later?
I'll take them later.
Alright, so why don't we go ahead and jump into these topics, because there's a lot to cover here.
Start us off.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into probably what was the juicier topic as of late. We've covered it before, but essentially the year of the loot crate, as it's been described by many of other YouTubers.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
No, just go ahead.
Okay, fine. Well, so essentially, it's over this past year and probably beforehand. Was it EA, Activision, and a lot of other companies
Warner
are trying.
Brothers, 2K
Warner Brothers
Games.
Yeah, trying to bring the mobile market's economy to the mainstream, or was it mainstream game? Just pretty much the the AAA game industry.
The AAA,
as Jim Sterling would say.
Yeah, adding unnecessary elements to these gameplays. I mean, when you play RPGs, there's already loot boxes in the form of random drops. If you're playing was it TF2, they started adding hats and stuff, and that was pretty much the gate of it way back when.
Yeah, like this has been a slow creep up until, the release
EA
of,
fucked it.
Up until the release of Overwatch, which was what was that, like late 2016?
It's been a big problem in the CS:GO community for many
CS:GO.
years.
Listen, we can ignore CS:GO because that's that is more the skin. That there is more, like, CS:GO is the skin gambling, and the game is just the other half. Like, it is more about
That's
the
true.
skins than it is about the game. Whereas the other times it's like, stop putting shit in our game. It's like you just put a game in our skim gambling.
Well,
Yeah.
in any event, it's all gambling mechanics. The idea that if you want this thing, you're going to have to pay money, and there's a random chance that you'll get it. It's kind of becoming more and more of a problem, and one of the things I did want to bring up, I don't think I brought it up, I might have, essentially, the mobile market was designed around it because their biggest problem is that they couldn't get people to pay for games. If you had a $1 game, you may never get a sale because up until that point, everybody made free apps. And so when somebody looked at, hey, there's like 200 things I could download for free, or this thing that costs $1, nah, I'm just going to get the free stuff, man.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, out of 200, you'll find something that'll hold your attention.
So
Most
they
likely,
had to
hopefully.
make money somehow. So they started pushing many different ways that you could do either microtransactions or gating off the game or
Pay
loot
to stop
crates.
ads.
Yeah, I say loot crates, but in those days it's like polls or whatever.
Yeah.
The gacha game community was pretty much surrounded around the idea of, okay, if you want all of this cool stuff, you're gonna have to like work hours on end to get an economy, and then you could use that economy to have a random chance, or you could pay a lot of money and then you could get a lot
Hope
more
and
random
pray.
chance.
Cross your fingers.
Yeah. Which is where they found out, hey, this is super effective because it really is. What was it? I brought up the Skinner box method. If it's
Yeah.
random, it delves into this little area of our brains where we're just like, hey, I might get something good.
One more chance. It's always even worse when like the thing is cynically designed that the jackpot or like the cool thing, you always just barely miss it, and you're like, oh well,
Yeah.
next time I'll get it. It's like that's not how that works. It's random, so it's not like if you landed on, if you needed a 10, you landed on a 9. There's no guarantee that you're gonna get any closer to 10 the next time. You could end up with a 6.
But
It's
I'm
just-
feeling
just-
lucky this time.
Yeah, because you ended up on a 9 next to the 10 or whatever it is. It's part of that. It's like Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Well,
Spin that wheel.
with some machines is like they stop in the middle, but like in CS:GO, for example, they a pixel away, like literally a pixel away, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, steal it! Next time I'll get it for sure.
It's like that's you poor naive bastard.
And of course, as Activision has pretty much shown, is that these people are willing to essentially manipulate those odds so that they can determine when you actually get a payout, because we don't have regulations. Which is leading me into what I want to talk about more on the subject, what we're going to predict where this is going to go by 2018, and then probably further on. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I'm gonna start by quoting the little robots from Nier Automata. This cannot continue. It cannot continue at all, because there's a point where like EA has pushed us to a limit now. I was actually going to bring this up before, and like an industry analyst, he was like saying that Anthem's loot boxes might be just cosmetic. First off, we don't even know if Anthem's going to have loot boxes, but it's just being assumed because it's a fucking EA game. Like, why wouldn't it? And so, preemptive to them even being confirmed, they're already being defended as just cosmetic because EA has already pushed the envelope so far that just cosmetic looks practically benign by now, which means that we're getting into a point where loot boxes are going to be seen like day one DLC, and we're going to get situations like Evolve again and stuff like that. But instead of with Evolve, where you could just outright buy $135 of day one DLC, that you'll have to spend, several $1,000s, and it's all going to be there on day one, and you're not going to be able to access any of it. But I just don't want legislation to get involved too hard, because I feel like they stick their finger in a little bit, and they're going to notice a whole bunch of other stupid shit that's going on, and then video games are going to not be that fun. I want self-regulation, but if self-regulation is going to be self-regulated by shitheads, then fucking bring in the government.
The only thing I want is for it to be classified as gambling. That's it. Like, it is gambling, classify it as gambling, because that already has its own rules. It's got to be age-gated, which will already push people to not necessarily want to use it. You gotta present all of your odds. So if you're changing them, everybody needs to know, which also means that you know exactly your chance of getting a particular thing based upon a value.
Which means people might be like, oh, I'm not going to waste my time with that.
Yeah. What else was there in the requirement of that?
They should put it on the box, definitely.
Well, yeah, that's also part of age gating. Essentially, if you add loot crates, you make the game for adults.
Oh, like, yeah, and nobody likes A rating.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, even Destiny and Halo push down the T so they can appeal to more people.
Yep. But it's basically like adding alcohol to your game in a way, because like once you say, "Hey, kids, we got alcohol here," there's a problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they do actually mention alcohol in rated M games, but I think it's more adept to say like selling alcohol with your game.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that.
Yeah. Like in a case of Labatt Blue, instead of getting a weird trucker hat, you just get a copy of like some shitty video game.
So, my prediction of this, by the way, I think 2018 we're not really going to see much changes yet. We might see changes in other countries, but with how our country works in the U.S., it's probably not going to be much different over a year. I think it's going to take several years for anything to actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how like it would work in Norway, or if they would care.
No, they wouldn't.
No.
I mean, they have their own rules. I don't even know my own country's rules. But I think it's very similar to how the U.S. is with gambling and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so I was going to ask that before. You're from Norway, right?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, because I love Nordic countries. It's so funny. I like their architecture.
I don't.
Well, I mean, yeah, when familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
But since I don't live there, it looks cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Nordic
Just like Japan looks so great. Don't live there.
Yeah, if you live there, you're just like, I fucking hate pagodas.
That's what I always get told about that place. It's a great place to visit, and it's a great place to vacation to. Don't live there.
Too late. All the weebs have gone there with their body pillows. I swear. No, I didn't mean that.
I mean, I'd go there with my body pillow.
Don't kill me with your replica katanas, guys.
I would. Oh, jeez. So what do you guys think for 2018 in terms of regulation of video games, I guess?
I don't think we're going to see a whole lot like you said, but I feel like depending on where this goes, because we've already seen it yet again that, you know, there's companies willing to push this, and now that they've pushed it again, now that they've pushed it so far, I don't think we're going to see regulation. I think we're going to see pushback. I think we're going to see, hopefully, what was his name from Hawaii? I hope he keeps on track with that, and I hope he gets support from other senators and whatnot.
Let's all move to Hawaii so all games are good.
Yeah, Hawaii, the fate of video games rests on Hawaii's shoulders.
And you, Zara, any last thoughts on it?
Yeah, I'm just the same as you guys said.
Nothing's gonna happen. We're just gonna see pushback.
I mean, I just feel as though they're not gonna make the grave mistake like how they did with Battlefront, and again, but yeah, they're still gonna continue doing the loot boxes until it gets so unpopular and so like just hated to the point where it's just like they have to change.
Well, I mean, we're kind of starting
the loot
to see
boxes, day one DLC, the pre-order bonuses, all of that stuff. More money.
Yeah, and the best part is like, well, here's the thing: is like, I think, like I said, we're not gonna see a lot of change, but because that's how it goes. It's always like there's always like a 2, 3, 4 year period where the game industry tries some bullshit, and if it sticks, then it sticks around, and they try something stupid and new, and if it doesn't, like the online passes, it still sticks around for those 2, 3, 4 years or whatever, and then they drop it. So we're gonna have to see in a few more years, unless this is a 2-year scheme, I don't think we're gonna see anything until 2019 with loot boxes.
I feel
I just hope
Oh, go ahead.
I just hope that they do it like how PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds has done it actually, because they have a loot box, but it's free. Like you earn it as you play the game.
Mm,
And you
I
get
think they're changing that soon.
Oh, they are? Okay, never
Yeah,
mind.
I heard. I think. I don't quote me on that. I think they said there was gonna not be upon full release. I think they said there was not going to be any way to earn them outside of buying.
Well, I mean, it's full release right now.
No, like I shouldn't say full release. I don't know what they said exactly, but
Oh,
I
they're
hope
gonna
I'm
change
wrong
it.
with that.
Yeah, I hope so. Because
Well-
I actually like that feature.
See, what I don't understand is, and okay, I do understand why they don't, but why don't these companies do like a, when you purchase a loot crate, you get a per day thing, not a once ever. And then you can like unlock these per day things as well. Because then it's like eventually everybody's going to be on the same ground, and then at that point, what you have is money is paid for time, not for gambling.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what it is. But then people are going to be like, I have to opt into like this. What? This is a fucking membership?
Well, no. So it's like, so 5 times per day is the maximum or whatever of a particular type of loot crate, I guess. If you play for 10, 20 hours, whatever, you can unlock the first crate, or you could pay money to unlock it as well. So eventually, if you have a strong enough community, everybody's going to have all 5 loot crates in the end.
Oh,
They
right.
actually
Oh,
have that
that
in
makes
PUBG.
sense. I actually kind of like that more because it's. But then it comes down to pay money to skip the grind. But it's still better than pay money outright for things that you like. That means you can buy an unlimited amount of them and just have an inherent either a cosmetic quote unquote advantage or an in-game advantage.
Yeah, and
In
okay.
In PUBG, they actually have it so that you can only buy 5 crates with the in-game money. You can't buy the in-game money with your real money, but you can only buy 5 of them each week. So it resets every Monday.
Oh, Nintendo does something similar to that with It wasn't loot boxes, but there was this game. It was called Kirby Clash, not Kirby Clash. It was like one of their like free to start Kirby games you can download on the 3DS. And the thing is, you buy these gem apples, and there's actually you get gem apples like every day or once every 12 hours or something like that.
Mhm.
And not only can you only buy a limited amount of them up to like I think it's like 4,000 or whatever, and I had like money left over, so I was like, fuck it, it was a free game. I like Kirby, I like Nintendo. But when you buy like when you buy a certain amount of apples each time from the store, the daily or bi-daily amount of apples that you get also goes up, which is actually really cool. So it's like, hey, buy this stuff because you need it for stamina and you need it for this and that. But also by buying this, the free amount that you get also increases so that once you've hit your limit, you're not back down to being completely stuck for days on end.
Yeah.
And
So-
I think that's really cool.
So I guess that's where we wish for these things to go. Hopefully companies will actually push towards that direction where it's like beneficial loot crates, not let's take advantage and take all your money loot crates. But I feel like we've already gone a little too much into this topic.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we did a whole Zen Thought on it. I kind of
Yeah.
want to move on to the movie industry at this point because we haven't really pushed much on the movie industry. And
Yeah.
more of the whole issue with Disney and I guess the biggest one that I would also like to talk about is essentially the shit that DC's been doing with their movies compared to what Disney's been doing with Marvel.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who wants to start on this one because like I've only seen like some of the DC and some of the Marvel movies.
So
I've not seen anything.
I think I'll open it up with this one topic that I think might be more interesting to talk about. How do you guys feel about the fact that Disney now owns most of the movie market because they bought Fox?
I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Mostly
Sasha.
because you're gonna have a lot of the same because it's all run by one company, right?
There's no
Uh,
competition.
Not that it's not there's no competition, but because like a lot of it's run by the same people, they all have to go through the same approval process, which means that they're all going to end up with similar like beats to them, because the idea is that they're trying, because Disney, as you can see, they want everything to appeal to a mass market, because like they think that works for some reason, homogenizing everything, whatever, which means that we can end up seeing like an Alien movie that's the same as a Spider-Man movie. It's like that's incongruous. It doesn't make sense, but it's going to have to go through the same checks. It's going to have a certain amount of humor and punchlines, because now every movie is following the Avengers formula, where like every Disney, like Star Wars, is following the no matter what it is, we're gonna have to crack some funny jokes in here that don't necessarily always work. Some of them do, but ever since the Avengers was popular and they mixed levity with conflict.
Yeah, I guess they haven't really done much in like horror films per se.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is also because Fox owned Aliens, right? I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, I believe so. But
which means that,
let's be honest, they haven't been really doing all that well with it.
No, I'm not saying that. I hope that they can turn it around now that Disney owns it. What I'm saying is I don't want to see a Disney Aliens movie that feels the same as a Disney Star Wars movie, that feels the same as a Disney Marvel movie, where there's going to be a bunch of colonial marines or some like not Ripley character that's going to crack jokes as they're about to get pinned up against the wall by a xenomorph. Be like, whoa, you are ugly. It's like, that, no, please don't.
So your biggest concern is the R-rated and the horror area, which Disney doesn't necessarily do all that well. For instance, Deadpool, which was owned by Fox, is now owned by Disney.
Which is good for them integrating him and the X-Men and whatever back into the MCU if they decide to. But that also means that Deadpool 2 might not be as Deadpool.
The last time I heard, they said that they are not gonna mess with it.
They say that, and I hope that that's true. But
yeah,
because like Deadpool was fantastic.
It was one of those things where I've heard this described to me, which is the problem, which is why Disney doesn't necessarily go for the R-rated stuff. R-rated stuff doesn't have a tendency to pull a big enough audience, so it doesn't make as much money. That's why they go for the general audience. You're appealing to adults, but of course, R-rated movies make really good movies, which is why
You're unrestricted.
Yeah, which is why Deadpool's an interesting area, because Deadpool didn't have a huge budget, but they did extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of those reasons why I'm pretty sure they're not going to touch it. It'll depend upon how well Deadpool 2 goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see... Oh, go ahead.
Fingers crossed that after Deadpool 2, they can at least throw him into an MCU movie. Even if he's not as irreverent and as violent or whatever. It'd be nice to see like Infinity Wars Part 2 or whatever, then whenever that comes out, and then Deadpool just comes along and is like, "Hey Thanos, how you doing?" and that's his only interaction in the movie. Like, his Deadpool cameo, fine.
Well, what was it? There's supposed to be a big thing with Deadpool, Thanos, and Death, wasn't there?
Yes, because Thanos has the hots for Death, and Death has the hots for Deadpool, and Deadpool has the hots for anything that moves.
And then because of it, actually started the whole Deadpool was immortal, so he could never die and see death thing.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
I don't know a whole lot about all of Deadpool's like intricacies and stuff like that, but I know I love the comic series where he kills everybody, including the writers.
Oh yeah, the Deadpool versus Marvel.
Yeah, and then Deadpool kills the Marvel universe, and then Deadpool kills the Marvel universe again.
Yeah, there's been some interesting comics with that.
I'm just worried. If Deadpool's not getting messed with, then have at it, Disney. Just make sure that whoever's been directing the Alien movies either gets a kick in the teeth every single time they have a bad idea, or you just get someone new. Just get someone new.
Yep. I don't know. I'm mixed between this because the whole superhero movies were pretty much the only thing that I really like to watch as of late. I'm not super into horror, but I know there's a lot of people who want good horror films, but let's be honest, Disney never created the good horror films, and I don't know, Aliens has...
create any horror films? No, I'm just saying, did they ever create any?
Looking up in the past, I think they have, but I don't know if you consider them that much. Let's see. Google search. They have The Watcher in the Woods, Something Wicked, Hocus Pocus, The Haunted Mansion.
Never heard of any of these.
Hocus Pocus, I definitely heard of. That's very much a child horror movie, though.
Oh, speaking of movies, and horror movies, that awful fucking Slender Man trailer. Did anyone else see that? Anyone else see that?
I have not.
I have not seen it, but I've heard of it.
Oh, I wish you could pull it up right now, but you'd get like a copyright claim or something, DMCA.
All right. Well, anyways, it sounds like we don't have too much to contribute to this conversation, so I think we should just move into what we predict will happen and move on. I predict that we're gonna see Deadpool is gonna go off as it's normally gonna go, and I feel that it's going to do well just because they do really awesome advertising and everybody's anticipating it. My hope is that by seeing this, they will be more lenient on their R-rated titles and just let people do what they're going to do, maybe with some interference or at least some cross whatevers that they want to do.
Yeah. That Bob Ross Deadpool 2 trailer, though. Fantastic.
That was awesome. Did you know that the theater one was different than the one on the internet?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's just some key differences. So, like, when he's painting all the snow, he's like, oh, look at all the snow. Oh, I love cocaine.
God, I love cocaine.
He doesn't say I love cocaine. He says I love snow on the theater.
Oh, well, that makes sense because the internet, in
God,
the theater,
I love
it's like
cocaine.
you don't know. Yeah, you don't know who's watching in the theater as much as you know. Well, I mean, you don't really know who's watching in the internet either, but I don't know. Predictions, though. I predict Deadpool 2 will be... If Deadpool 2 is even half as fantastic as that Bob Ross trailer, then I'm going to be happy. I'm predicting that DC might get their head out of their ass. I'm not a big DC fan.
I don't know if they are.
I'm this is the thing is like I'm more of a Marvel guy myself. Like 2 of my 3 top favorite superheroes are Spider-Man and Iron Man. And then there's Batman, who's just DC Iron Man, or Iron Man is Marvel Batman, however you want to look at it. They're both rich guys with no powers that have, their power is their money to make cool things. But, I like rooting for the underdog.
I have a feeling, though, at this point, DC has pretty much got a stigma against them now because they've done not so well with so many of their titles. Well, I don't think they can pull out of it. They need to just, like, rethink what they're doing and then go back. Like, what they really should have done is built up all of those side characters because they did Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman did really well. So they should have just
time to focus.
Yeah, take that formula, apply it to all of their dudes that they did a movie on, flesh out the characters, then consider any kind of Justice League 2.
Yeah. That's the problem is like with Batman versus Superman, they tried to use Batman versus Superman as an establishing plot for everything that they tried to catch up with Marvel's like last 5 or so years of, cinematic universe world building with like 3 Iron Man movies or 2 Iron Man movies before the first Avengers and like a Thor movie and a Hulk movie. Did they have a Hulk movie? I forget.
Yes, there was like 2
before the Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know if they considered it canon though, because the Abomination was a thing. I think they killed it, and then they, I believe, started Brainiac. I don't remember if that was the villain that was like hinted at the end of Hulk 2.
Wait, no, Brainiac's Batman and Superman.
Is it? Who's the one in the Hulk universe that has the big brain?
Well, all I think is MODOK, but I don't think he's in the Hulk universe.
All I know is they had a dude with the gamma radiation pouring into his head, and he was getting a bulging brain.
Oh, ew. Ugh.
So,
anyways,
I don't know what villain that was, but they hinted at it, and they haven't used it at all. They're just pretty much.
Hulk hasn't had a movie by himself yet in a while.
Yeah, nothing with the new stuff. I guess that's the problem, is that if you think about the Hulk, they think smashy, and then they get the wrong directors, and then they do all talky.
Yeah.
It's like that's not what Hulk's about. Hulk's about smashy.
Hulk big green smash. that should be like the guideline for the movie, just like on a piece of paper. Hulk green big smash, and it's like go crazy.
Which I think that's the problem, though. Hulk is better as a side character, not as a main character. At least with how the movies are currently set up. Yeah,
that's the thing. But I was just saying before, is Batman v Superman. They tried to establish Aquaman. They tried to establish Wonder Woman. They tried to establish Batman. They tried to establish.
They fleshed out Aquaman very well. They just didn't touch on the other characters all that well.
Yeah, and then they fucking pull out Doomsday in their first fucking movie. Or second,
I know, right?
Technically a sequel to Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Man of Tomorrow or whatever the fuck it is. But like, they pull out Doomsday on their first fucking. They blew their load. Doomsday is supposed to be this crazy cool, like, I think he's a Kryptonian that like, or some sort of creature that they kept killing over and over and over again. And he kept coming back with, and like eventually that's where his development for immunities is. Like, you kill him, and when he comes back, you just can't kill him that way. And it's not like he has to swap out one weakness for another. He just adds that to his list of immunities.
Which wasn't his backstory. Was as a baby he was thrown out into the fields of Krypton, and then just died. And then they took the corpse, revived it, and then threw it out there again to force evolution.
Yeah, some crazy weird bullshit. But then this one's like, also like, who played Lex Luthor? Who was it?
Yeah, that wasn't even Lex Luthor though. That was his son.
That was like okay, it was okay. I was gonna say that better not have been actual Lex, because as great as that actor was,
they tried to do Joker. Let's be honest.
They tried to do this weird enigmatic, which is great for, again, it's kind of cool for the son of Lex Luthor, where it's like, all right, so you have this really reserved guy who's like, hello, I'm Lex Luthor. And then he's got his wacko son that's like the exact opposite of him. But they tried too hard to make him like a cartoon character in a movie that consists mostly of grays and browns.
Yeah, which I don't think they're going to have Lex, though, is the problem. They just have his son, that's it.
Well. Anyway, yeah, Marvel, long story short, Marvel has been kicking DC's teeth in, and DC hasn't been doing much to stop that.
Pretty much. I don't know. I expect that there'll be a lot of good movies to come out from Disney. Even though a lot of them aren't necessarily R-rated, they do very well when it comes to movies. Of course, Star Wars, at this point, you could argue.
Yeah.
See, hang on. Sasha says, do you think that Marvel and DC will make one big movie, and what do you think is going to be about? No, I don't think they're ever gonna make one big movie unless Disney buys out DC.
Oh no. Well, I mean, they've done crossover comics before. They're not absolute rivals.
Yeah,
they have done crossover stuff. So if they did do some weird crossover movie, I think it would have to be far removed from their respective cinematic universes because of how bitterly they are contending with each other. They can't just be like, all right, let's just drop the walls, and current Spider-Man is going to hang out with edgy Batman. Like, it's not going to work.
I think the only way for this to ever happen is Disney buys out whoever owns the movie rights to DC. And then what they're going to probably do is reboot DC first. And then once they've gone through all the DC stuff that they want to do, then they'll consider crossovers.
Yeah, Marvel will be done by then if they buy out DC and then reboot it the proper way.
Which I gotta say, I'm not totally against that. Mostly I would love for one person to have all of the superhero stuff, because that means there's a lot more you could do with it, and they all kind of fit into the same category. The problem is that means we'll never get the Dark Batman again.
Oh, you mean Christian Bale?
Yeah.
And I mean, I like those. I mean, I could sit here and make fun of. We can go for the low hanging fruit of. But like, you know, the story. I watched the first one. I adored Heath Ledger. It's a damn shame that he didn't get to stick around, because I think he would have done pretty okay in the current DC universe. I don't think they would have kept him anyway, but like theoretically, Because let's be real, Jared Leto's Joker, you tried, buddy. You did. Pat on the back. But
you did a thing. It's look. I gotta
appreciate
say.
the effort.
I gotta say though, it creates an interesting way for Joker to actually interact with the main universe because it's a charismatic Joker. It's not a insane Joker. I mean, he's still insane, but he's more charismatic. He's got people behind him.
He's not as insane because they took out all of his insanity out of his head and plastered it all over his body instead. Because like, all right, I before we move on to the next topic,
gangster Joker.
I actually like that idea, but before, like, I just want to know, like, what the tattoo process was. Did he go, like, he probably has his own guy or whatever, he forced them, but he's like, I want you to write ha 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 like 16 times all over my body. I also want you to put a smiley, my smile on both my arm and my shoulder, but also I need you to write damaged in really nice font on my forehead so people know that I'm insane. It's like there's not like the tattoo process. Like, I don't even know. Like, I feel like that would give us the most insight. Just make a whole movie about each of Joker's tattoos, and then we'll know how fucking like crazy this person is that he thought that any of this would be good visual feedback.
All right. One thing I want to like ask you guys, like, just to close out the topic, how do you think the Star Wars films are gonna go? How do you think they're gonna end?
Sorry, you gonna want to start because you've been awfully quiet.
I mean, I just don't know anything about these kind of things.
Oh well, I just feel
not
bad.
much of a moviegoer.
I am not. I mean, I just no.
Yeah.
I'm an anime fan by heart.
Well, I mean, dude, just watch Shin Godzilla, fantastic movie.
You know what? I gotta say something in contrast here. Anime's been doing pretty well, but it's like almost a completely separate category to when we have films. I just find it so funny how people get so heated, like a huge portion of people get so heated about like their film not being the way they want, and then you like look towards anime, and that's like a completely different section of people.
Yeah, I mean, there was wasn't that movie Your Name or whatever came out this year.
Yeah, Kimi no Nawa. It came out at the start of or the end of 2016.
Well, no, I'm talking about the inferior dub version.
Oh yeah, that came
The
out
inferior dub.
2017.
I mean, I shouldn't say that because I mean, Dragon Ball Z is objectively better in the dub, and you can fight me on that one.
I haven't
Yeah.
even listened to the dub yet.
Dragon Ball in
It's pretty
general.
good.
I mean, Sean Schemmel, Chris Sabat. I mean, I miss Ian Corlett and Brian Drummond from the Ocean dub, but yeah, the dub is objectively better. Fight me. I got an arm cannon.
I mean, I back you up on that.
I can't say one way or the other because I haven't heard the current dub, but I have heard the old dub and it's not bad. It's definitely way better than what One Piece did.
Which version are we talking about? The 4Kids dub or the early Toonami dub?
I think the early Toonami.
Ooh, cringe. All right, let's move on.
All right.
Because otherwise I'll start shitting on One Piece.
All right.
Woo!
So, speaking of like anime and other I guess drama related to that. How about YouTube drama? Let's jump into that. We've had so much YouTube drama, not just with people, but let's talk about the people.
So, Sashi, you want me to make a diss track about you?
Oh,
He knows where this is going.
sure.
Don't
But
worry,
you got to
I'll get
do it
my
right
hands
now in the
abused.
next 5 seconds.
Well, Sashi, he sucks because he is the only fool in the Heroes and the Fools. I don't know.
And
Bada
that pretty
bing,
much
bada boom.
that pretty
Just got
much sums up.
roasted.
That just pretty much sums up all diss tracks.
Yeah, just like I mean, we can always talk about the
Shitty lyrics.
I think the biggest one, as far as I know, I don't know much about diss tracks, so bear with me on this one. I think the biggest one between two YouTubers this year was iDubbbz and Rice Gum.
Yeah, that was a pretty big one.
And I mean, you know, there's no way to talk about this objectively, but I don't really think any of Rice Gum's fans are going to be watching this anyway.
No, there's gonna be
So,
like a few people.
Yeah, I think Rice Gum fucking not just, I don't want to say he lost because it's not about being a competition. I mean, he turned it into one, but
Mhm.
you know, just before the diss tracks came, or you know, the thing he's still doing all the shitty things that he was criticized for on iDubbbz content copy. He's like, oh, I'm totally not doing those things, while he fucking does those things. And I can't tell if he's oblivious or if he's being ironic, which either means that he's oblivious and he's doing it, or he's being ironic and he acknowledges that he's being a shithead. So in either scenario, it doesn't look that good for him. Either he has low intelligence, or he has or he has no regard for other people.
So I want to say one thing is that I generally haven't delved too much into YouTube drama itself. The iDubbbz versus Rice Gum thing was like pretty big, and that's where I kind of entered into it. The way I've always seen is that if you ever want to destroy somebody, doing a diss track, doing a like video about how shitty they are, or trying to like pull them into the public, only helps them if they have a good group. And this ties back into the backfire effect, is the reason why. So if you go, hey, you're a shit, everybody goes, no, he's awesome. Which is also like with the whole Logan Paul issue, which is 2018.
Yeah, but I mean,
That
his
was also
brother was soaking up most of 2017 anyway, so
Yeah.
it's you can just lump him in. It's just part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah.
The Paul's part 2.
But
I mean, a lot of people is just like, keep the Paulers in the 2017. Don't bring them into 2018.
Well, no, it's the Low Gang for Logan Paul. Excuse you, pushes up glasses.
Both of his Paulers.
Excuse you, it's not the Paulers, it's the Low Gang.
Yeah, no, I mean, we could get into that in its entirety, but I'm just gonna say right now is not all of Logan Paul's fans, but all the Logan Paul's fans that are saying, "Oh, what he did was fine because he is a savage." Kill yourself.
Which is majority.
Being a savage, or whatever the fuck that even means in regards to what you're saying, does not excuse him. Like, get rid of the dead body part. All right, get rid of the dead body part. Because whatever, let's throw that out the window. If you look at all the other footage where he's like, we got to be respectful of the country, and he fucking runs around with the fucking like the hats, and he's holding a fish in front of everyone. You want to fish, and he's jumping on the back of like they're not forklifts, but they kind of look like industrial vehicles, and he's like, he has no idea, and he like puts the camera in front of him. He goes, oh hey, how you doing? And the guy's like, oh. And he's like, he very clearly doesn't want to be on camera, and he does that to like 5 other people.
Throws Pokeballs at people.
Yeah, and he's just being a general dickhead, and people are like, yeah, he's a savage. Yeah, I guess he is being a fucking caveman. You're right. You're absolutely right, Logang. He is being a savage because he's acting like a fucking gorilla. And I honestly think a gorilla has more manners.
Well,
At least they don't go around the streets.
Also, Jake Paul dabbed on the news, and it instantly discredits him.
Oh, the dab. I love how that's like, wasn't that a 2016 thing? Filed into 2017, it hasn't died yet.
It died. Yeah, it hasn't gone away yet. But like when he was on the news, and they're like, "Why?" Like the news, in nicer terms, is like, "Why are you guys being such shitheads?" And he just goes, "Oh yeah, it's because we're savage. Just dab." And he just like does this tiny dab. It's like, that's not why. Why?
Well, I just want to say, with the whole YouTube drama, as I mentioned before, it just perpetuates because of the backfire effect and fans feeding into it. There's no way you're going to stop it. People are going to thrive on it, and it's just an area of YouTube.
Drama, any publicity is good publicity for some people.
Mm.
I mean, we saw, like I said, with Logan Paul even. His, this is, I didn't do the research. I found this, but he never stopped losing subscribers during his issue. He just got less of an increase, and then like a few days ago, he went up from 16,000 new ones to like 80,000. So it was literally a speed bump, and that was it. Yeah. So any publicity is good publicity. So anybody who's still focusing on YouTube drama, just don't waste your time. Stop making videos disowning people. Don't make any videos disowning people. Yeah. Don't like all the people who are like, Logan Paul, delete your channel. It's like, cool, great. I understand that you want to like disown him, but the best way to do so is to not acknowledge it. Just be like, what? Logan Paul, who? What?
Zara, were you about to say something?
My biggest problem with this whole thing is that YouTube is just not doing anything about it.
Adpocalypse, and they're just general incompetency. I can't tell who's more incompetent, YouTube or Bungie.
I mean, they put the freaking suicide video on top trending. Yeah.
Meanwhile, people like, I'm just gonna pull from my thing. People like Philip DeFranco were on trending for like a second, and then it was pulled off for some reason, or it just like it fucking disappeared. Meanwhile, for like a couple of it was on there for like a day or two or a couple hours or whatever it was. This Logan Paul dead body in the thumbnail, and it's like that's not equal protection because they don't want to go after one of their golden boys.
Because that's where their money comes from.
Yeah, and they don't care how it gets made, no matter how much they tell you. That's another thing. This goes for all companies and stuff like that. No matter how much a company tells you it cares about X thing, unless it demonstrably does so before something bad happens, and before the days go by of controversy, like tweets or whatever, unless a company from day one demonstrably proves that it does indeed care about things, it doesn't care. It just sees the numbers and it says, oh shit, well, we better act like we care. Because they wouldn't keep making the same mistakes over and over again, and companies wouldn't keep making the same mistakes over and over again.
This is why I like Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah.
They actually establish their view and they stick by it to the end. And that was funny.
Their Q&A was hilarious. Well, why are you guys getting political? You guys should go back to making cards. And they said you should go back to seeing how many Hot Wheels cards you can fit up your ass. And I thought that was hilarious. Whether I agree with them or not is not what I'm getting at. I just thought that was the perfect way to say, listen, we're doing this. If you don't want to buy our cards, that's fucking fine.
Yeah, just don't then.
Yeah, listen, like we're here. We made cool cards because we wanted them, wanted to make them, and we wanted to sell them because that's how business works.
Yep,
but we are a group of people, and we stand by whatever views they are.
Which prediction wise, at least on this whole YouTube thing, because as we're on the topic of like corporations, whatever. Yeah. YouTube's obviously not going to change. They've proven in the past they'll pretty much just not say anything while in the background they try to fix things. Now,
and fail.
Based upon was a DeFranco show, the context that he talks about, they're actually passionate about trying to fix YouTube. The problem is they don't know. My guess, they don't know how. And they're trying all the things that they can. They, got bought
throwing
out
everything at the wall, see what sticks.
They got bought out by Google, so they have Google's. I don't actually know how much of Google's resources they have, but I'm assuming that's the whole reason why they have the learning AI to try and fix things.
Yeah, I mean the biggest problem is I think the people at YouTube want to do things, and I think it's another thing. It's like we were talking like with video game things where. The developers or the people on YouTube, they want to do things and they want to fix things so they're not shitty. But the only way to do that is to ruin the fucking, what are they called? Pop-up industries. Like they don't want to, like, they want to fix it, but in order to properly fix something, they need, it's a cottage industry. That's what it's called. They need to ruin everything that Google is trying to do, which is have their cake and fuck it too.
That's a colorful way to put it.
Yeah, like because Google doesn't care about all these controversies. They only care because it's people start yelling at them. Because if they cared, then the Jimmy Kimmel Show wouldn't have advertisements on the Las Vegas massacre, and Casey Neistat wouldn't And Casey Neistat, I don't really care about him all that much, but when he made that video, like, let's help all the people for the Las Vegas massacre, and I'm going to donate all the AdSense to charities, and then the ads got taken down. They said no matter the context, you can't have ads on a video about that. And then Jimmy Kimmel has his fucking Ford ads and his fucking beer ads and stuff like that. All these people who were saying that we don't approve and we're pulling advertising on Jimmy Kimmel because they don't actually care. YouTube doesn't care.
I've always pointed out that the only way a lot of this adpocalypse stuff would ever be fixed, but it's also the same reason why it will never be fixed, is because of YouTube's revenue stream. Because they have to take ads and ad revenue, they have to essentially cater to their pocket money, essentially.
Yeah, they cater to the advertisers.
The only way it would ever fix is if everybody got YouTube Red, but that's never going to happen.
Literally cannot happen.
If they don't just change it to a subscription
until they change it to required, which I'm just gonna go to like VidMe or Daily Motion.
Yeah, that would destroy
go back to
them
Newgrounds.
YouTube Red isn't even a possibility in Norway yet. It's only the US.
Which sucks because it's actually useful. I love
no
having
ads,
to watch.
Access to original series.
Not to mention,
I'd love to watch the original series, but I can't watch
sponsored.
them. I can pay for them if I want to. I can pay for the individual episodes, but I'm only going to watch the series once, and that's it.
Yeah, not to mention the other, which I find the most useful feature, is that if you are watching a video on your phone and you click it off, it will continue buffering the sound. And you could also download all of these videos onto your phone to watch later, like on an airplane.
That's pretty cool.
It's actually extremely useful, and why I have a hard time ever getting rid of Red. But a lot of people just look at it as, well, I don't get anything out of it.
Well, yeah, because they don't see it the same way. They consume content differently, and that's the problem. It's meant for people who consume content in a certain way. And that's one of the things that makes it not have that mass appeal. Even like the no ads, it's like people use ad blocker on their computers anyway. And for the people who use it on their phones, they can just put it down and mute it and then come back to it. But there was a thing. I know how YouTube can fix their scenario. Or I mean, I don't actually, because I'm not that smart. But my idea would just be let everything have ads, and then if there's a shitty video that has ads on it, it gets flagged, and then when it gets flagged, they look at it and say, yeah, that doesn't that doesn't deserve to have ads on it. We're gonna take the ads, we're gonna take the revenue or whatever, because it depends on what it is. If it's extremist propaganda on either side or up, down, left, right, who cares? Then take it off. If it's ISIS making a video and then trying to make ads off of Coca-Cola, fucking just turn that shit off.
Yeah, the problem is
it takes human oversight.
The problem is what you're talking about. They're still going to have millions of videos a day to sift through. Because they're going to have all sorts of things that got hit. What they need to do is they need to cater their, they need to set off a month or something like that, where they get all of these people in, and then they set up a system where before actually causing a video to become unadvertiser friendly, your video posts in a process. So you get all of these views and it keeps track of it. You understand that your video is not going to quote unquote make money the first day. It's until it's been approved, and then you get all of those views at once.
That's a better idea.
And then what happens is that they need to create a learning algorithm. There's many out there that are very, very efficient. And then with their 10,000 people that I heard that they were getting.
Yeah, they hired a bunch.
They go through a bunch of the videos, and then they go and watch it. And it's based upon the content and all of the inputs that they can get from the video, including video, audio, all of that. They take it and they go, okay, this is good or this is bad. And then they have their learning algorithm as it gets all the goods and bads over time, builds up what it understands as good and bad. And then you run that algorithm through a bunch of videos, and then you go through the second stage, which you have all of these results. And then from there you say, yes, that's a good choice, or yes, that's a bad choice. And over time you build that algorithm to understand what it needs to flag.
Truthfully, it could, with the amount of content that gets uploaded to YouTube every day, it would be able to learn incredibly fast. I mean, just get that AI that went on Jeopardy.
The problem is you need some kind of output to understand that what is good and what is bad.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just saying, there's no shortage of content for it to learn from.
Yeah, it's got plenty. It just needs to understand what is like a thing that it needs to flag, and that becomes the problem. Because then there's the other side of it with all learning algorithms, which is when people follows the data. Because they go, okay, Elsa's a good, so I'm going to title my video with Elsa so it gets flagged good, and then
Search
throw
engine
porn in it.
optimization. Yeah, well, I mean, it becomes search engine optimization, like where I don't know if you've ever seen this before, where you go on Google, you might be looking for like a game or something like that, and you search up the name of that game, and then a bunch of the same websites show up and they say, play blank game now, and no matter what game it is, it always manages to be the same website, just with a different name there. So it's like it's almost like they use search engine optimization to like replace the word with what you're looking for to lure you in, even if it doesn't actually have those things. And then you get into the part with like you get to those weird toy channels. That special message from me to the people who are making those toy channels: stop it.
Why?
Stop it. It's
Somebody
weird.
gotta make them.
It's disgusting.
What, toy opening channels?
No, the ones where they have like Spider-Man and they do like all
those aren't toy channels.
No, some of them are.
You're talking about the toy channels that then turn to abuse.
Yeah, and like, don't like it. I mean, the fact that Unbox Therapy can make a channel out of unboxing is weird. I'm not saying I don't like it. I think it's cool. I think he's got a thing going. I think it's interesting. But, there's ways to do toy reviews. There's ways to do toy openings. And there's ways to do that without it being weird. And making your kid do it over and over again when they very clearly don't want to. It's, like, some of those children are broken on the inside.
Well, I know there's one that was fine. That was the one that was on DeFranco, and that's like the big
that little kid. He's fine. I think so. Either that or he's a damn good actor.
It's just, I don't know. We just have to be very, keep our eyes peeled for abuse that's happening. Make sure to report it. Like all of this, really, in the end, we need to like be better as viewers as well to help make sure our own content is good.
That's another part. Is it's not all on YouTube. People can't. I mean, they can blame YouTube mostly, but it does fall down to the people who see the content first. And unfortunately, since YouTube is a company, they don't see all the content first. We do. And it's on us to say, hey, that video is kind of fucking not okay, but it's got to be. But the problem is then, where do you draw the line at not okay?
Yep, and if you're gonna give your kid the YouTube to watch, be sure to check on them every 10 to 15 minutes.
Like every video, like when it ends, I don't know.
Make sure they're watching something appropriate, because it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like that would be kind of a cool feature for like YouTube Kids. Like you can link it to another device of yours or whatever. And then it like dings or vibrates or whatever when the video ends, and it says now playing this, and then you can like then you can see what's going on. So
like
it's
YouTube
like
Babysitter.
Yeah, well, the thing is like only for YouTube Kids though, because I'm not normally one for like heavy over the shoulder like, oh, what are you doing? What are you? Because if that were the case, like I would have never found the Yogscast and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
that would be nice if they had more ways to help parents manage their kids when watching YouTube. Kids.
Fucking make a third-party app until YouTube gets their head out of their ass, at least.
Something that would be pretty cool if they could make it so like only certain channels, like say, oh, we've checked out this channel. This channel looks pretty good. Yeah, we'll like put that as a white list.
Yeah, if a channel has consistently good behavior, it's subject to human oversight, maybe.
There is a danger with that, because what happens is that people will do anything they can to get the whitelist, and then once they get it, then they'll abuse it.
Yeah, that is the problem. I remember, I mean, I don't know if this plan is still brewing, but you remember when they introduced YouTube Heroes?
Yeah.
I don't know if this plan is still brewing or not, or if it ever went into action, but it was, I don't go on 4chan, I got this from a friend, but basically a group on 4chan was talking about being really, really good and rising their way up through the ranks to the point where they can all mass flag videos and then just mass flag the entire site. And I think that is devious. I think that is devious. I think it is genius, but I also think it's 4chan.
Mass flag all of YouTube. I have a
Just
feeling
every video.
I have a feeling at that point, well, I mean, you're still going to have like all the new content coming out. You have to like constantly mass flag
It's a forum page with like, you know, however many people.
I have a feeling that would like shut it down for 5 hours until they mass ban them and then just set all the flags to naught.
That was still that great meme. That would be like the equivalent of like the Christmas server takedowns of Xbox and PSN. Lizard Squad V3.
It would be funny though.
Yeah, no, I would kind of like that.
It's like, hey, here's your hero system. How much do you like it?
Yeah. Alrighty. We've gone on with this long. Well, not long enough. It's up to you how long.
There's...
bye.
Bye. Good luck.
No, not the whole thing. Just this topic.
Yeah. It just. What was it? Just predictions? I don't know. I think YouTube's going to be the same. I think YouTube drama's never going to change. Honestly, I feel like it's a part of YouTube at this point. People are going to do shit, and we're going to all talk about it. It's our culture.
People are going to do a dumb thing, and then people are going to respond to people doing that dumb thing. And then the person who did the dumb thing is either going to have their life ended, or they're going to have a huge promotional boost, and everyone who made videos are going to look like a bunch of idiots.
All of that I don't think is going to change. The only way any of that is really going to change is when YouTube has full control of their site, which they don't. They have to run on ads, and as such, it's up in the air whether or not YouTube's going to last because they're to the whims of all of the big pocket corporates. So
plus, I think YouTube is a money sink.
Yeah, money sink. So overall, I don't know. Go to Twitch.
Yeah,
I mean, Twitch is pretty good
for
now.
To,
YouTube.
Yeah, Twitch is fine, and then 10 years is going to be the next YouTube. You'll hear about the Twitch apocalypse.
Well,
them titties.
Amazon. I mean, Amazon runs that shit, and Amazon usually doesn't have their head in their ass.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Like I said, usually.
Usually, yeah.
So I've never really heard too much bad about them.
I don't know. Any other comments you guys have on that?
Nah.
Nope.
Let's move on to the big one.
Well, I did want to talk about net neutrality. I don't know if that is the one that you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So, yeah, that happened this year. Net neutrality was
last year.
Last year, yeah, technically last year, whatever. It still feels like 2017 to me. Okay, I just don't want to face. I don't want to face the new year. Anyways, so Ajit Paul, as I like to call him, because he's basically as bad as Logan Paul, is really Ajit Pai. Was the chairman on the FCC, revoked the rules and regulations and also categorization of the internet. As such, what we know as net neutrality is not really a thing anymore. Now, by the way, it's not a rule that was set into play specifically targeting net neutrality. It was a regulation on the internet that helped ensure net neutrality.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that happened. Also, in response, we had a lot of states that are ready to sue the FCC. We also have a bill that is currently introduced into... actually, we have several bills, as far as I know, that's been introduced into Congress. One is a good and one is a bad, as far as I remember. There's one that's like, oh, this is a net neutrality or freedom or internet freedom bill that's going to add a lot of regulations, but if you really look at it, it's really just going to help the Comcast and whatever be able to do more of what they want. Then there's a bill that was being introduced that's supposed to help reinstate the internet as the type 2 utility that it should be, because really it's a utility at this point. Like, let me ask you this. If you have a house, do you need water?
Yes.
If you have a house, do you need gas?
Yes. Well, oil or the way to heat.
Yeah, heating, gas, cooking, all those kind
electricity.
Of things. Well, yeah. If you have a house, do you need electricity?
Yes.
If you have a house, do you need the internet to survive in today's economy?
Technically, well, here's the thing. Technically, it depends on your distance from a library or an internet cafe.
Yeah,
but
either way, that's still an internet
aside,
source.
yeah, it's not that's the thing is like I'm not gonna play full devil's advocate here.
Well,
I can
no,
understand
the
people that come-
library is still access to the internet.
Yeah,
Your own
of course.
house is access to the internet. Regardless, do
Yeah.
you need access to the internet?
Of
Kinda.
course. You do. To
Well, that's
pay
what I'm saying.
bills.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like if I were to play semi devil's advocate, because anyone who says that it's not at all required, they're but I mean you don't have to pay them over the internet. I don't know about in Norway, but I know that good old fashioned postal service, as shitty as it is here sometimes, is still perfectly viable in a lot of cases.
Yeah, but a lot of
However-
times that ends up getting ignored. If you want to get a job, you're going to need a LinkedIn profile. You're going to need...
Well, yeah, in order to get a job, there's a lot of
networking.
places you can't even like. I tried to apply for a couple of jobs around like a couple of years back for seasonal, and every one of them said, "Yeah, just go online." So I literally could not apply for a job without the internet.
Yeah, so if you want a job, i.e. the ability to get money, to eat, to pay for everything, you kind of need the internet.
Yeah,
If you want to be able to socialize nowadays, there is the people that you could talk to close, but a lot of people are on the internet.
like this, like we
Yeah,
wouldn't know
most people.
Zaru unless we were pen pals.
I mean, you would know me if you didn't know Seshi.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like the internets.
The internuts.
There's also so many businesses that are online as well that like
Oh, yeah.
require
Amazon.
it.
Actually.
Well, Amazon, YouTube, Google,
Bing,
Twitch.
Bing, Twitch,
Microsoft.
Mixer,
Listen, I use
Microsoft.
MySpace.
Dude, I use Bing because Microsoft is so fucking desperate for you to use their search engine that you earn these points for searching, and you earn like a certain amount every day or whatever. And then I can redeem those points for free Xbox gift cards and shit like that. Free years of Xbox. Like they are so fucking desperate, and I'm fine with that because I get free. Like I don't remember what game. I bought Killing Floor 2, I think, on Xbox. I know that was a mistake because not playing it on PC, but I got it for free just for using Bing. But Google is still better.
Well, in any event, it could be argued that the internet is a requirement to actually survive in today's economy.
Yes.
If you did not have any access to the internet, including a library, you would have a lot of issues. Now, if you had a farm, you still need to interact with the government, and a lot of the government is actually moving to the internet nowadays. You can still use snail mail, but let's be honest, paying your bills through that, you have a high chance of missing a payment.
Just use carrier pigeon. It's way easier.
Carrier pigeon. So
Worked in World War One.
there may be like slim situations where you don't require it, but there's so many things that are moving to online and the internet that it's at this point a requirement. Like there should be like if you have a house, you should have access to the internet at this point. And even if it's bad access because the America sucks.
Comcast.
Yeah.
Norway for the win.
I don't
So,
know Comcast, I got
In
Verizon.
the end, it should be classified as a utility because let's be honest,
Yeah.
it's a utility.
Yep. I mean that's the one thing is like one of the things that I've heard a lot of is that there's no documented proof that internet companies have ever done that and stuff. And first off, there is at least one documented instance
Was it
of
Netflix?
Verizon. I can't remember the story. It was like Verizon either slowed down competitors to Netflix or slowed down Netflix for the competitor. I think it was
They
Verizon
slowed down.
competitors to Netflix so that Netflix would be
They
more.
they slowed
Is it-
down peer-to-peer connection,
Yeah.
which Netflix had, I think, some service that used peer-to-peer connection, and it was a lot of customers were actually saying that is slow and not working, and they come to find that it was being throttled.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, throttling is just going to be a thing no matter what, because I can't tell you how many times, even during net neutrality, for the brief 2 years that it existed or whatever, that I was like, I couldn't play video games a lot of the time because I was very clearly getting throttled because it was fine, and then it wasn't, and then like a couple days later, like it was a period of consistent garbo, and it's not like there was any fucking sunspots or
Well,
anything.
So the problem is there's a couple of things that could actually contribute to that. You could have a shit router. You could have actually a bad connection during the time because somewhere down the line it's actually like it's cold or too hot or something's messed up just because the infrastructure is pretty terrible. So it could be that, or it could be. I mean, it's unlikely that Comcast would ever want to throttle a particular person.
No. It wasn't just me. It was like my whole, like, it wasn't me. Like, it's difficult to explain because Verizon is a bunch of shitheads anyway, sometimes. But it wasn't just me, obviously. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain it.
Like,
but
it was your district?
It wasn't. Well, it was only because what I want to say is my friends across the way, they got AT&T and they weren't having that problem. It wasn't like an area-wide thing.
Well, they also AT&T and Comcast, they're different companies, right? And I believe they use different lines.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain, but whether or not whether or not I'm wrong, it's a thing that happens, and it was happening even during the time when they weren't supposed to be doing it, with demonstrable proof beyond my own. So without that and the other proof, like, people are like, oh well, there's no proof. It's like, yeah, but it's a company. If a company wants, like, if it's beneficial for a company to fuck you, it's gonna fuck you.
Pretty much. So, I don't know. I feel like the whole utility thing is going to be fought for in 2018. I don't know if it will actually pass, but I do know elections are pretty close.
Yeah.
So you might want to call up your congressman and say, hey, if you don't support a bill that reinstates net neutrality or reinstates the internet as a utility, I ain't gonna vote for you. They have a tendency to change what they do.
Listen, shithead, you want to keep that seat? Then go along with what I have to say.
So,
like,
yeah,
Don't worry. You're not the only one that will hear this. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Another 10,000 people will be calling you later on today.
Oh no, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Oh, by the way,
Good luck.
have I told you guys my conspiracy theory on why this whole net neutrality ended up actually being overthrown?
Is because Ajit Pai used to work for Verizon?
Okay, so here's the thing. And now, by the way, I'm gonna say first and foremost, this is not fact. This is just fun conspiracy. This is most likely not even true. But
Game theory?
that's just a theory.
A game theory.
An internet theory. Thanks for
watching.
I like that.
So,
actually.
one of the conspiracies that my dad likes to point out is that there's likely some background group that controls who's the president. I.e., they push, they either like convince people or throw money to get certain candidates to push certain goals. Now, again, Illuminati. Yeah, that's like Illuminati stuff. However, here's the big question. Why is Trump one of the candidates that ended up being pushed forward through all of the ranks? He was just self-funded. He doesn't know what he's doing, and somehow he ended up getting a huge following. And then
it's because people were tired of politicians.
Yeah, that was one of them. But then towards the end, we had such a like half and half vote that it was almost Hillary or almost Trump. And then it ended up being pushed to the electorals to actually decide the victory, which means that it wasn't even our votes in the end. It was some rich assholes in some office. I.e., it could have been influenced either way. So again, this is conspiracy. This is not fact. This is just a fun conspiracy thing. Either way, so there's some idea that some background force helped push Trump into office, which he's already expressed that he didn't want to be in office. He just wanted the fame and fortune or whatever. So he's an idiot. He's a great tool to use. And guess who put Ajit Pai into office, into his chair?
Trump. I know that. Trump did that.
Trump did. So did he have any reason to pick Ajit Pai? Did they have any relation in the past? Is there any reason to have picked him?
Well, I think it's because my best assumption would be that Trump, being a businessman himself and seeing Ajit Pai coming from a business, says, all right, well, I'm a businessman and I kind of know how to work with money.
I'm a business. You're a business. You do business.
Yeah, like, I think that's the thing is, like, it comes down to, I mean, I shouldn't say that Ajit Pai himself is a businessman. He worked, whatever the case may be.
He's not a businessman. He was a workman.
He was a lawyer. He was a lawyer or some shit like that, which I'll tangent for a sec. I don't think that previous jobs should ever restrict you from getting jobs in the future, but come the fuck on. When your job is to manage the internet and you used to work for an internet company,
That's
come the
pretty
fuck
terrible.
on.
But
come
anyways,
the fuck on.
Anyway, so it became like a thing where there wasn't really any choice on our end. It was Trump goes, hey, I put this dude in office. Who knows? Maybe somebody had some whisperings and say, hey, this is a good candidate. You should probably pick this. But anyways, yeah, Ajit Pai was a terrible choice because he had background that would actually put him in favor of doing things for internet corporate, not internet protection. So lo and behold, he pushes to get that one little thing twisted out.
Yep.
So
Happy
Corey,
America.
yep. Corey says, basically, we had a choice between a fire ending or a dark ending. See them however you wish. But yeah, that's also the other thing is that Hillary became the other candidate when we had a much, much better candidate on the Democrat side. That didn't even get
Ted
to
Cruz.
office.
Oh, wait.
Well,
Ted Cruz, the Zodiac Killer.
crap, now I can't even remember his name.
Bernie Sanders?
Bernie Sanders, that's what it was. Much, much better choice. Guaranteed if it was Bernie Sanders v. Trump, it would be Bernie Sanders in the end.
Yeah, brownie sand pants.
Brownie sandpans.
But
I don't know.
again,
I feel like he would have disintegrated like the first day in office. He's so fucking ancient.
again, I want to reiterate that's just a fun conspiracy theory. It may or may not actually have any credibility as to why any of this happened. But I do believe, to be honest, that it's not too far of a stretch for somebody who's been fighting to get net neutrality under control and make more money off the internet for them to be throwing bills around to get their way.
Well, yeah, it's lobbyists and shit like that. It's the reason why things don't get done a lot of the time for obvious reasons. It's like because you have the people that go in and say, "Yeah, no, it's not that bad." We just throw a little bit of green, a little bit of dosh your way.
Yeah, America, a system that really doesn't work when you get down to it.
A thing that you can trust, maybe. Probably not. No.
As trustworthy as sour milk.
As trustworthy as my channel.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I just hope that Norway is not gonna like jump on this stuff because
Think again.
they're very they get influenced quite heavily by other things happening around the world.
They're like that one. They're like the younger kid that hangs out with all
Yeah.
the older guys.
Yeah,
Hey, he's
They're like,
doing it.
"Oh."
If I do it, I'll be cool.
yeah. That's pretty much Norway. considering
Norway's
the-
the kid that would follow the if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you follow?
What was he cool doing it? Oh, I guess I gotta.
Oh, he wasn't. Oh, yeah. It's also like the cool brother does a front flip. It's like, oh my god, you're so cool. The little brother tries. It's like
And snaps his neck and dies.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you trying to do? Yeah, that's Norway. Like they have these internet celebrities like Viners and freaking YouTubers and streamers and whatnot.
Yeah.
They put them all into advertisements. Doesn't not matter what advertisement it is. It's just just throw them in there. It's cool. Everyone will buy stuff then. They think.
That never works.
Which
No.
because they don't understand that YouTube is actually a more smaller community than they actually realize, and so many people are like, PewDiePie, who the fuck is that?
It's
Yeah.
like, excuse me, like Felix who? Wasn't
Felix,
he the guy
Felix
from
X?
Zuckerberg?
Felix, isn't that the guy who said the bad thing?
The N word.
I don't think I'm gonna buy your whatever this like cologne or some shit.
Or it's like Logan Paul. Isn't that the guy on Disney?
Yeah,
Is he still doing Disney?
It's like 300 years behind everything. That's the thing I never understood. Also, like with companies, it's like just because you put a celebrity in your commercial doesn't make me want to buy it more. But I guess there's some people who are so vapid and devoid of self-worth that
It's
if,
okay.
I
want to point out here, commercials are not about making you buy things. The main purpose of a commercial is that you know what their product is.
Yeah.
Because
I
the
know
whole
there's a celebrity on there. That's all I know.
yeah. So you associate the celebrity with the product because you remember the celebrity, so therefore you might remember the product name. The main purpose of this is that when you go to actually purchase an item, so let's say we take a shampoo, if it's Dove, and then you remember Dove, and then you're looking at, okay, so we got a couple products here. Hey, Dove, I remember that one.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But like, I guess because I'm not in, so like I couldn't name more than like a couple celebrities, and one of them that I actually like, I can't like anymore because he's confirmed diddler. Oh, that's another thing. Yeah, fucking all the diddlers.
Oh, the Me
The
Too.
Weinstein conspiracy. Yeah, the Me Too movement. Like all that stuff. Like I liked Kevin Spacey, and now I can't say that because it's like, oh, you like a confirmed diddler.
Well,
Now I have to cross him off my list, and all I have is Owen Wilson.
I do want to say one thing about the Me Too thing, which I'm very happy that we actually could get a lot of people coming out saying that people who are in power
Being
did bad
assholes.
things so they can get punishment. There's one major danger with this whole thing, and that's with false accusations, which we've had in the past. They're not going to end. And this creates a big problem because you don't want to not support them, because if they were like abused, you want to support them. But if they are coming out with false accusations, then hey, you're going to put an innocent person in jail possibly.
Well, I think that just happened. Something like that got resolved recently. I don't remember where it was or what country or whatever. The one I want to say like Ireland. It wasn't Ireland, but you know, some guy just got let out of prison like a little while ago.
Was it with the phone thing?
Yeah, the text messages or whatever. And shout outs to whoever that inmate was that just casually was like, bro, those messages are probably archived. You can probably prove your innocence. Like, shout outs to that random guy.
I know, right? And he's got to be kicking himself because the whole time he could have done it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is because he deleted his end of the messages or whatever. But what is it though? So yeah, with all the first off, I think didn't the Me Too movement or whatever, didn't they win Time People of the Year or whatever?
Yeah.
So congrats to them first off. Yeah, and yeah, false accusations do come up as an issue because we're in such a mode of, well, all of these things have, like, not all of them, but most of these things have been true. I mean, like, they accused Louis C.K. and he's like, yeah, I did that. Sorry. So, I mean, like, it's kind of shitty they still did it, but, you know, at least he didn't say, well, it was all this, and, well, I don't remember that. And he's just like, yeah, I fucking did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, anybody who actually owns up to it, props to you. I mean, you're a fucking scumbag, but props to you.
Props to you, and hopefully that you can fix that in the future. Depends on how long ago it was. Bada bing, bada boom. You know, but like, cause you know, some of the times where it's like, oh, well, it happened 30 years ago, and it might not be true, or they admit to it being true. It's like people change in that time. It still doesn't make it any better, but also doesn't mean we should destroy their career now for it. Because I remember it happened to Paula Deen. I think there was like a video of her that she said like the N-word like 30, 40 years ago. And then, like, her entire career then was ruined.
Because we want to bring up the past. Despite the fact you're not even the same person every 10 years, I think it is. 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
every cell in your body's not even the same.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain things that there's reasons why it happened years ago and it's only coming out now is because it was either covered up or whatever. And in those cases, it's perfectly acceptable because, yeah, it happened a long time ago, but it wouldn't have come out, you know, 50 years later if people hadn't been trying to make it never come up.
It's definitely one of those very, I don't know, precarious
You're walking on eggshells because you can't say too much in either direction because then you'll get people saying, well, you just believe everybody, and then, you know, that hurts everything.
It's like, this is where I wish we had a foolproof lie detector that we have a way to guarantee that nobody could sabotage.
Yeah, it would be that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, we'll never get that. I mean, what was it?
Yeah,
the current method that we have that so far I think you can't beat is the thing where it basically shows you a bunch of images, and some of those images relate to the issue at hand. So for example, if you steal a watch, they will present the watch as one of those images. your brain has a specific kind of reaction depending upon whether or not you've seen said image before or said object. And
Or if it reminds you of anything.
well, yeah, basically there's certain brain activity that will happen when you're exposed to an image. And if said image is something that you've been exposed to before, you'll have a higher reaction to it. The thing is, it's impossible to control unless, I don't know if somebody's ever tried doping themselves up before going in, but then at that point, everybody understands, hey, this guy's high as fuck.
Yeah, I think he should be arrested for at least this crime, so it doesn't really matter whether this is true or not, because he's getting arrested for this anyway.
In any event, what that test can do is if there is something that you have been exposed to before, it's impossible to prove, you can't make your brain not respond to it. So for instances of if they stole an item, you can easily ascertain what item they stole and if they stole it, but I don't think it's as easy to use as if somebody proclaims that somebody messed with them a long time ago, to use it as a way to make sure if they lied or not. And also there's still ramifications in the real world, because what if somebody's conducting the test and they sabotage it to make it seem like you lied?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's one of those things that we wish we had, but we don't really have.
Yeah. How do we get on this topic again?
It's through the
oh yeah,
Me Too
no, I
movement.
said that. That was me. That was my fault, because we're talking about commercials or and actors, and then confirmed diddlers.
Yeah, confirmed diddlers.
That's the only way I can talk about it and not not
Alright.
hate everything.
So I think this is about time we should probably close this out. We've been going for
Alright.
about an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's fine. Well,
Okay.
let's go with a full reflection overall, full
Yeah,
predictions.
that's what I was
overall.
about to say. What are your guys' predictions of what 2018 is going to bring?
2017 has been a great year, and 2018 will also be a great year. Maybe even greater.
It's like if you ask Siri that. Hey Siri, what do you think 2018 is going to be? 2018 will be a great year.
I mean, what else should she say? Oh,
Yeah.
it would be cool if she were like, yeah, it started off great with Logan Paul. That's just all she said.
Well, I guess I could start off. I believe
Yeah.
2018, we're going to have some great movies. We're going to have some terrible movies, as per usual every year. We're going to have some good games. We're going to have some terrible games. And I am going to assume that all the Loot Crate stuff is going to continue on until it gets regulated. They're going to make as much money as possible. We're still going to have a shit mobile market because nobody's ever going to be able to fix that. Look, I'm going to say this right now. Most all mobile games are shit except for Skullgirls.
And Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links.
I don't know. I guess that's preference at that point. I don't know
Yeah.
how well it's run.
It's really well run. You know, microtransactions and stuff. I've never had to buy. They do events all the time where, because every card pack costs 50, and there's times where they're like, yeah, you get 500 gems, which is 10 card packs, and there's other
Right.
times there's you get 1,000. That's 20 card packs. Constantly. Every other week they're giving out gems for some fucking reason.
Right. Well, here's a big one. Do you think that Donald Trump will still be president by the end of 2018?
Of
Yes.
course. Unless there's some magical breakthrough with this investigation that hasn't led fucking anywhere so far, then they've got nothing to truly, impeach him on. They're just like, oh, that darn
Well,
comb over.
I guess the better question is, do you think we'll be in nuclear war in 2018?
Well, listen, I
In
was
my
gonna, if we were going to talk about North Korea, I was going to say I cannot wait until we turn them into a glass floor.
See, the problem
Wow.
is what's going to happen is they will fire first. We never fire first because it just
Yeah.
never happens. The only time
Yeah,
that's
well,
ever
we have to be
happened
react.
is Trump abused his power and fired on that one airspace. I don't know what
whatever
his
it was.
power is in just being able to ignore everybody and fire a nuke. if he has that ability, then we'll fire first. Otherwise, they'll fire first. If they fire first, they're not going to fire on us. They keep saying they will, but you know what's going to happen?
They're trying to bait us.
They're going to fire on Japan. Let's be honest here. That's where they're going to shoot.
No, not the Nihon. Not the Nihon.
Like, all of their tests have been firing at Japan, and I don't even know.
Well,
like,
it's because they've been shooting him unusually high up in the atmosphere. And because like the angle they're doing it at is way too high because they're like, well, we don't want to actually hit the U.S. until we're ready to hit the U.S. And I think it's just that the angle that they're trying to test for also just happens to be near Japan, but at the same time, I mean, Japan's gone through 2 nukes already.
Well, how was it? There's they're not going to hit the U.S. They're going to hit one of the bases near them of the U.S.
Yeah, one of those weird islands.
Yeah, so those are the things that are going to get nuked. If they shoot at the U.S., we will shoot down the missiles because we have anti-nuke defense. We've been in this game for so long.
Yeah, no more ICBMs for you, Kimmy.
At which point we might shoot at them, we might not. If we do shoot at them, they will kill South Korea. Guaranteed. Like, they may be hashing things over, but if they believe that they're at an imminent threat based upon
if we're going out, we're taking them with us.
Yeah, so they are going to throw a tantrum and kill whoever they can. So it's not going to end well regardless.
Yeah, that's the problem is, like, you know, so, I've never been a fan of coups and stuff like that, but someone needs to just go in there and just pop them.
That's also a problem. If you just pop them, then you leave a regime without a leader.
Country, and it's
create,
never worked.
You create another ISIS, and
power vacuum.
At which point you create another ISIS that has nukes.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is that's why I'm saying, like, it's never worked in the Middle East. You know, like, let's kill off the guy, put in an American friendly leader, and then everyone's like not able to survive because the guy doesn't have enough support from anybody, and then they get killed or whatever, thrown out, and then a bunch of even shittier people get control of the place. And I know that would happen there as well. So it's just a fantasy, of course, because it won't work at all like that.
Yeah, the way I see it is if we could somehow replace North Korea's dictatorship with South Korea's government, and
just kill him and then give the land back to South Korea.
So, because South Korea does pretty dang well, and they're pretty good.
Well, yeah, they had Psy.
Yeah, so like if he was in control, then that might
Gangnam Style, dude. Remember that meme? Great meme. Not really.
But in any event, I don't know if 2018 will be the year of bloodshed, but I guarantee if a missile is fired, I mean, we have the ability to curb stomp them, but the problem is there's a lot of people who want to shoot at us. It's just going to start a huge war.
Yeah. There's no winning.
So will 2018 be the start of World War III at the head of Trump? Who knows?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
I was about to say.
Okay, I think we're good. We'll close out here. Everyone go around, talk about what you're doing for the rest of the week. It could be YouTube or not YouTube, whatever you're comfortable with sharing. I know my plans are gonna be just what was that? I have 4 episodes of Terraria I need to edit down and actually post.
Hell yeah.
Which those should be coming out. I'm gonna be leaving for PAX South. I believe that's this week. Is that this week? Yeah, that's going to be the upcoming week. So I'm not going to be here from the 11th to the 14th. But on the 15th, I start my new job, so that's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Wow! Going to have so much money.
Yeah.
Also, get to work in an actual company. That's going to be awesome.
Hell yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. It's just Zaro being Zaro.
Yeah.
In any event, I'm hoping that that's not going to interfere with my ability to do YouTube stuff as well. I'm going to keep doing scripting stuff. I have so many of those I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what was it? Flying is the next thing I'm going to try to do, but I don't know. The best way to make NPCs fly is move your damn mod to 1.12.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do that though, right?
I have a way. It's not a good way.
Oh.
At least it works, right?
Yeah, to an extent.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Yay!
Listen, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I don't.
As a developer of Mighty Number 9 once said, it's better than nothing.
Let me put it this way: I'm gonna post a thing that tells you how to do it, and then I'm gonna just say, okay, well, the whole point is to fight DBC characters, so here's a bunch of ways to actually do that.
Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Zaru, how about you?
Oh, me first? Okay.
Well,
I'm currently working
Look,
on
I'm going clockwise.
my my fourth episode of the Anime Squad Weekly News, which I mean,
Holy shit!
it's
I
the
don't know what
fourth
that is.
episode, and it came out first in the mid 2015. So it's a weekly, by the way.
Nice.
Weekly news, keeping you up to date, 2 years at a time.
Yeah, so I'm working on that. I'm just currently editing it, so yeah, that should be up soon.
Editing? What do you
Yeah,
fucking care about your videos?
yeah.
Oh.
It's a highly edited series. So.
But is it DB good?
Yeah, is it DB editing? Shoutouts to my boy
better-
DBZ Ethio boy.
because mine is 720p.
No,
Actually,
he's the best.
1080, but,
He's the
know.
world's best 480p gamer, dude.
25 FPS.
Yeah.
480p,
I'm rocking
60
that 60.
FPS.
Hell yeah.
I'm running 8K.
I'm going
120.
Look,
12K.
Man, look, man, I'm gonna have an 8K headset soon. Myself, all my videos will be 8K. Nobody will be able to watch it.
The buffer speed.
It'll
I will be.
8K 5 FPS.
I will be able to, but I mean, not many people.
8K 120 FPS.
Yeah, 128.
8K 120 FPS in both eyes.
Oh.
in VR
In
with
VR.
3D.
Oh, yeah, I have it videos.
3D VR. Ooh.
Dude, do
Oh my
the
God.
what the Game Grumps did. With
Yeah.
So it's
With
just
their,
like, here's my 3D cam set over here, and you get to watch the video in the back.
That'd be kind of cool. How did you edit those videos? That's what I'm wondering.
It's a stretched out image.
Very carefully.
Oh,
So if you know what you're doing, you could plant imagery into it. That's why when you look at the images, they look like they're kind of floaty and misplaced.
true, yeah.
But yeah, if you know what you're doing with the 360 video, you can animate it, and they're animators. So
Yeah. They're all animators.
all right,
Well, not everyone, but
One Under, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try and record some more series. Hopefully, my oil burner won't be so friggin' loud that all of the footage that I had was completely useless because there was no way for me to edit it out.
You know what you should do, One Under, is
Yeah.
what you should do is you should record the entirety of what you're doing, and then you should add a voiceover afterwards.
That's what I was thinking. Commentary, but that requires effort. And that's not something I'm willing to put in. Just kidding.
Just do game
Yeah.
reviews, get a bunch of B-roll, and then talk about it like Jim Sterling
Sure.
does.
I'll fucking do that.
you should
'cause,
become
like,
you should become my full-time voice actor
fine. Let's do it.
of the 3 videos I do a year.
Hell yeah.
It's not a lot of work you get.
You've got it.
You get 1 voice per video. That's it.
How much I get paid? How much that shit cost?
89 cents
I was gonna go for 70.
Is that how
without
much
taxes.
it's made?
Without taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so expect some sort of video coming soon, right at your eye holes.
Oh, right. One of the things I realized is I don't have your YouTube link.
Oh shit! Oh fuck! Hold on. I'll get that right. friggin' now.
/user/Isarmar Games.
Oh yeah, everybody plug where you're at.
I actually don't know my fucking.
I'm on Twitch. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Snapchat.
I'm on
Twitter,
YouTube.
Facebook,
Only
losers
losers
use
use Snapchat.
YouTube, Twitch, YouTube.
Twitch.
So if you like me, you can Twitch me at that YouTube.
Get that twitchy finger on.
Yeah. And then if you want to mix some of my stuff, you can go on Mixer to check me out there.
Yep.
Yeah, just
What-
search up OneUnderK and you'll find nothing. But I don't know that I don't know how to get my like actual YouTube channel. Isn't it just like youtube.com/all the users things?
I found it. It was
I found
literally just a picture of Aaron.
One under cable.
No, yeah, that was my name before I was able to switch it. It was OneUnderK.
Yeah, I don't know. What the fuck?
That's your
Go away.
That's your URL.
Yeah, it says one under K, but there's one under table. So, fuck, where am I gonna post this? I guess I could post it on.
Post it in the description. Post the like after the video's up or whatever,
There you go.
Yeah.
and then put it in the description of all
Just
further.
as soon as it
Ferrari
pops
videos.
up in the chat window there, very quickly, just start copying.
Click.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyways, that has been Zen Thought. Hopefully, we'll continue on next week with more stuff of 2018, or a month from now, or I don't know.
I don't know.
I would like
Yeah, I
to
mean-
try to make this weekly. We are
Weekly.
going. Zara, you up for that?
Yes.
We will try. So we shall
Yeah.
see.
Thanks for having me on.
No
Thanks for
problem,
having
man.
me
No
on.
problem. All right.
Great times.
But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and we'll see you all next time. Take care and goodbye.
Goodbye. Hell yeah.
I don't think your link posted in chat.
I see. I got it.
It is. Yeah, it's there.
All right. Well, I'm